When Jesus Christ was asked, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" he answered, "The greatest in the kingdom of heaven is the one who humbles himself and becomes like a child." Now let's consider why Christ talked about the humility of a child. 1. A child is so innocent that he is unaware that evil exists unless he is taught. That's why Jesus emphasized that it would be terrible for anyone that causes one of these little ones to lose faith in him. God requires that kind of innocence from us. Romans 16:19, Paul wrote, "I want you to be wise about what is good and innocent about what is evil." 2. A child trusts that their parents is capable and would always provide for them. That's why whenever a child is in need of anything, he just asks his parents, because of the strong faith he has in his parents. This kind of trusts brings about total dependency on their parents. God desires that kind of trust and dependency from us. That's why the scripture, in Matthew 6, told us not to worry about food, clothing, drinks, or anything we need to stay alive. Rather, we should concern ourselves about everything else with God's kingdom and what He requires of us, because God is more than capable to provide for our needs. 3. A child trusts in the protection of their parents so much that nothing and no one is bigger or stronger than their parents in their eyes. Consider what Christ said in Matthew chapter 23 about how often He longs to gather His children together, just as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings. But His children are not willing. This points to Christ's parental watchfulness and care towards us. But are we willing to trust in His care? In Psalm 91, the psalmist sang, "You are my defender and protector. You are my God. In you I trust." The psalmist assures us that God will keep us safe from all hidden dangers and all deadly diseases, and that God will cover us with His wings, and we will be safe in His care. But God can do all these if we trust and depend on Him and go to Him for safety. I want you to declare this: "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe." 4. A child is always teachable. One can't claim humility if he cannot easily be corrected or he can't hearken his ears to instructions. Hebrew chapter 3 verse 15 says, "This is what the scripture says, if you hear God's voice today, do not be stubborn as your ancestors were when they rebelled against God." John 10 verses 27 says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." Consider the parable of the sower.